Hey guys, this is Dr. McFarland, and I want to do a quick video today on a mixing project I'm trying to finish up. And what I've done here, let me open up Reaper real fast, is I tried to do this live stream through the Mixbus group on Facebook, and it didn't work out. So let me try it this way here. And I really wish I could tap on the screen and make it do something, but it's not working. So yeah, that's not going to work. All right, that's fine. All right, so here's the session for Only Love. This is currently in Reaper. And what we have here are all the Reaper tracks. I have a basic guitar, vocal with a background vocal for just the chorus. I have a delay throw channel that I can use for, selecting different words and delaying them. And then we have a kick and snare. We have a hi-hat. We have a sub bass, a talking bass, which is more of like a arpeggiated kind of thing. Burning pads, cinema strings, and this is all from main stage 3 that I have down here. And I do have an acoustic bass that I've recorded in. So really it's just guitar, vocal, and drums for the first little bit, and then when the chorus hits, all the elements start coming in. So what I've done in Reaper is I've tuned, edited, arranged, everything pre-mix. So that way when I consolidate these tracks and import them into Mixbus, I can just mix the tracks and I don't have to worry about fixing anything. So here are some plugins I like to use. This is Arturia Tube STA, which is a tube compressor. And for instance, here's like a 1073 mic pre that I can put on any channel. I can drive the input. I can use the EQ just like I would on an analog or hardware version. So that's cool for that. And so what I've already done here is, after I quit, is I've consolidated the tracks. So if I click on this and play it, maybe. All right, there it goes. All right. So all these tracks should be at 335. If they'll come up. Yeah, 339, whatever it is. All right. So now I'm going to go over to Harrison Mixbus 32C version 6. And that's going to come up. I'm going to have a new session. And let's do Bus VCA template. And I'm going to put this in. Let's put it in other. Let's make sure it goes to Mixbus sessions. And clients. And this is going to be, I'm going to have a new folder. So this is an artist called Natalie Tiller. And session name is going to be Only Love. So I've routed everything where it needs to go, and I'm going to hit open. I always do 44.1. My buffer size is 1024 samples. And let's just go ahead and hit start. So once Mixbus opens up, Do not unplug any locks. Okay, I won't. I don't have any locks. Yeah, I know, Parallax. So Parallax was a neural DSP, a guitar and bass plugin that I tried out, and it keeps wanting to find them. Okay. So it's saying that the template was from an older version, but that's fine. All right, so what I get to do now is Control M. That's going to show me my my tracks that I have up here, and this is from a previous session. So I'm just going to go ahead and select one track, and then Shift click, and that's going to select all of them. I'm going to remove these tracks, but I'm not going to remove my buses over here. So I basically have drums, bass, guitar, keys, background vocals, vocals, instrument verb, vocal verb, and these can be changed to whatever I want. And then I have the last 4 mix buses to be like delay, or they can be, you know, a group of certain tracks. And I can shift and hide these just by hitting shift and then B. And then if it hit V, it's going to show the VCAs. That's an easy way to do that. And all right, we should be good to go on that. So I'm going to go to session, and I'm going to import. So I want to make sure I go to clients, Natalie Tiller, Only Love, Consolidate, which is the folder where I told my consolidated files to go. And it's going to show all that. And I'm just going to shift click once again to highlight all of them. And I'm going to add files as new tracks, mapping 1 track per file. MIDI track names, not going to mess with that. Insert at session start. Conversion quality is best. And we're going to copy files to session as well. So that way they're going to be saved in their own file. And we're just going to go ahead and import. So if you have any questions so far, just leave a comment. And I see nobody has any questions yet. But if you're interested in recording your own stuff, you don't have to use multiple different DAWs. But I do like here some Mixbus for the mixing process, because it really takes away all the clutter and all the tools that you need to mix, as far as EQ, compression, and those are your basic tools anyway. They're all right there in the DAW itself. So I have the tracks pulled up, and there's a guy in the Mixbus group that had mentioned, hey, I don't like that I can't rename these tracks in the mixing view. Well, there's multiple different ways of doing it. I'm going to hit Control M. And this is the way I prefer to do it. I'm going to double click. I'm going to say bass. And then I'm going to hit tab. I'm going to go down and just keep naming the tracks here. And eventually I'll figure out how to use OBS Studio to do a better live stream. But for now, I'm just going to use my phone, and it'll be fine. I'm not worried about passing audio. Here's a synth bass. Here's a hi-hat. Here's a kick. Here's a chorus double for the vocal. Here's a main vocal, which was called scratch vocal, but I'm just going to call it main vocal for now. And then here's AC guitar. All right, now what we want to do is let's go ahead and bring the kick and hi-hat. I'm gonna choose, I think it's shift arrow. Nope, not that. And this is a downfall of using multiple DAWs, is sometimes I can't remember the shortcuts I need to use, which is fine. So kick, hi-hat, and we can go ahead and solo those up and listen to them. And let's move the start time. I'm going to go ahead and shift click these tracks, and the beats per minute is 115. So you can see that it moved the timeline behind the tracks, but it didn't stretch in the audio, which is great. And I want to make sure that my snap is on, and that should work. And let's and these tracks should be starting so that one starts on the beat. All right, so shift click, we're going to move them over to about right there. Let's have the start position be right there. So all right, great. That's fine for that right now. And I can adjust that if I need to. Let's move some of these other tracks around. So usually I like to have in drums on the top, and then bass, and then guitar. So I'm going to go ahead and move my acoustic guitar. And I would prefer to be able to like drag and drop these, like click on the track and just drag and drop them. But since Mixbus is more of like a analog console, it didn't really give you that capability of doing the drag and drop thing like you can in a Reaper. So that's why you have to use shortcuts like command arrow up and down to move your tracks. And it can be kind of cumbersome if you're doing lots of tracks at once. But this is fine. You know, I'll put the chorus double below the main vocal. And we got cinema strings. Let's do a synth bass next to the analog or the regular bass. And burning pad. Let's make these next to each other so we can kind of see that these tracks come in on the chorus. These two tracks come in right there. And we have all the tracks happening at the last chorus. So, all right. What would I do now to prepare this to mix? Well, I probably would want to, I'm going to mute the vocal. So we can just listen to basic, tracks. Let's go ahead and let's do the markers for this song. Okay. So I know this is the start, i.e. the intro. So let's go ahead and play it. Then as I play, I'm going to hit tab. I think it's tab, and it should bring in a new marker. So. All right, so there's verse 1, and it came in kind of loud right there with the drums. So this is all verse 1 right here. Boom, boom, boom. And Here comes the pre-chorus, 2, 3, 4, tab. Then, all right, so that was the chorus coming in. So let's go back. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, chorus. So I'm just gonna say CH for chorus. All right, let's fast forward a little bit. And here comes verse 2, bam. You can hear like that low rumble from the synth bass, which is cool. All right, there's the second half of the verse. Let's fast forward to the next pre-chorus. So pre-CH2, 1, 2, 3, 4, chorus. So this is going to be CH2 for the next chorus. Let's fast forward. I usually write BR for bridge. And all these drums and snares and whatever else were done in main stage, which is a $30 program. So I'll be sure to do a video on that here real soon, showing how I use that. All right, so now we got chorus 3. And I'm gonna move this end thing out to the ends. All right, great. So now that I have my markers in there, I can click up here in the timeline. I can say, you know, verse 2. And it'll take me right there. So shift and dash or underscore is zooming out the session from start to end. All right, so last time I used Mixbus, I had an issue with hitting mono right here and it not turning into mono. So let's just experiment. Let's pan these and see what happens. I'll put the bass right and just, you know, crazy stuff so I can just check to see if mono is working. And all right, mono's working now. I don't know what was going on before, but it definitely wasn't working. But I am using a PreSonus monitor station version 2, so I don't have to worry about this section right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that out, and let's default this back to panning up and down like so. And Cinema Strings are stereo already. So let's go ahead and listen to that. Okay, and now they played that piano in using main stage and it sounded good. Okay, we got the synth bass. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's just listen to the song, and then that's pretty much the gist of what I do to prepare the tracks, the mix. And now it's just time to mix. So I'm going to hit Shift E. Shift S. I think Shift S. I think I have to be in this view. That's another thing that I'm kind of getting used to is if I'm in mixer view, I can do Shift S and it'll show me the sends and the EQ, which is cool. But if I'm in editor view and I hit Shift S, it brings up this navigation thing down here. So there's a few things that you really have to remember, like what view you're in and what shortcut does what. So I think there's some room for improvement there. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's do Shift S so we're not looking at that on the bottom. And let's just go ahead and start mixing. So once again, I'm going to keep the vocals out for now. And let's just play it. And we got synth bass soloed. All right. And what I like is if I select the acoustic guitar track, the track for that shows up over here on the left. So let's go ahead and bring down the kick and hi-hat compared to the acoustic. Okay, let's go ahead and do this just so you can see my process. So for kick and hat, I'm going to send to drums. You can see that the drums are already labeled here. And I'm actually going to, I know what I usually do. I forgot. So I'm going to drag on the side. And it's going to create a group. I'm going to call this drums. And then made it yellow. If I edited the group, I can make it a different color. I can make it purple, which is cool. Bass and synth bass, that's going to go to their own bus. Acoustic guitar, I don't really have to do a group for, but let's just do it anyway. And let's change the color to that. Cinema strings, burning pad. Let's make all this one group. And we're going to call it ambient. And that is in light purple. And then vocal, background vocal. And once again, let's change the color here. All right, that works. All right, so you can see where that we're not really dealing with a whole lot of tracks, which is perfectly fine. Songs don't have to be, 100, tracks long. And once again, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment here. I'm not seeing anybody comment, so I'm assuming everyone's good with what I'm doing and nobody has any questions. So, all right, so now that we have the tracks grouped, we can now do Control M to go to the mixer view. And I know that I don't have to look at my buses to know where I'm sending these, which is great. So I'm just going to I'm going to hold Command and hit drums. And that's going to take out the send to the master, and it's going to send these two tracks to the drum tracks, which is great. I'm going to do bass for bass and synth bass. And once again, I held down Command. Cinema strings are going to be sent to keys, or they could be pads or strings, but it's just a generic place for those to go. Acoustic guitar is going to be sent to guitar. Oh, shoot. Let's take that out. And let's go there. All right. I hit the space bar instead of command. And then my vocals. Let's uncheck this group up here, and I'm going to send the vocal to the main vocal to vocals and the chorus double to background vocals. So it's going to have two separate places to go, and that way I can edit them independently, okay? Or mix them independently. So now that the groups are made and I have all the tracks being sent to a bus, if I hit spill on the drums, it's only going to show. Let's see if I can move this out a little bit better here so you can see what I'm doing. So I hit spill, and it only shows the tracks that are being sent to that bus. So if I hit spill for the bass, it's going to show the bass and the synth bass. The guitar is only going to show the guitar. So that's a really great way to save real estate on your screen. And since I'm not showing VCAs right now, I can move those over. Let's go ahead and bypass the EQ stuff I have going on the Mixbus. Let's stick with the Gverb. That should be fine. Let's make bus 9 a delay. So let's add in a new plugin. And we're going to do Harrison consoles. And we're going to bring in a delay plugin, which is the 3D triple delay. All right, that works for that. Not quite sure where I'm going to have everything. Let's do a dotted eighth. And it's going to be in sync with the host. And what I can do for that is I can either send the whole bus to the delay, or I can just send the individual vocal to the delay. So let's go ahead and do that by clicking on Mixbus 9. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and hide this. And let's just listen again. So shift. All right, let's work on this acoustic guitar here. Let's bring up. You can hear that it has a good high pass filter. We also have a low pass filter. All right, let's go ahead and sweep. All right, we're back. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm sweeping some frequency bands here to trying to notch out some muddiness in the mid-range. Just kind of help clean that up. And that works for that. And we can also use some compression here. So let's bring the compressor setting up. And let's have a fairly low ratio. All right, so it's knocking off about, 2 LEDs worth of gain. So I'm going to compensate by bringing up the gain on the compressor, probably around 1 dB or so. And I wish this was a little bit clearer on the phone, but it's fine. All right, 3 people who are watching. Any questions so far? What do you want to know? Anything? Say hi. Anything like that. Okay. Let's go ahead and check out the kick drum, kick and snare. All right, so one thing I did right there, even though the kick and the hi-hat are in a group, I can hit shift to bypass the group, grouping for a moment. So I was able to bring down the hi-hat. And now if I move the kick, the hi-hat and kick are going to move in relation to itself. And, it's not going to adjust. It's not going to affect the relationship between the tracks. So let's go over to our drums. So we do have some compression going on there on the drum bus. Let's see what happens if we bring up the ratio. All right, let's move this Gverb over to Mixbus 10. I'm going to right click and hit rename and call this Instroverb. Right click on Mixbus 9 and call it delay. Cool. And you can see over here as well that on the sends, it's now called delay and Instroverb. So it changes the name once you rename it, which is great. All right, cool. So what I want to hear now is just a little like a good room sound, nothing too big. Let's adjust the pre-delay and bring the time down. Let's just see what happens if we send this drum mix bus over to the instrument verb. All right, so there's bone dry. And there's a little bit of room. And I can adjust the send of that with this knob here. So yeah. All right, so now I'm going to mess with the bass. And in this chorus, I have a real bass and also a synth bass playing at the same time. So let's adjust the balance of those. And since they are in a group, I can hold shift to change the balance of one fader, and then once I move both of them, they're both going to move in relation to itself. Okay. Let's just go ahead and mess with that because I do want to hear the real bass more than the synth bass. The synth bass is really just there to add texture to the sound. So let's go to the first chorus. Yeah, so Mixbus is a DAW. It is created by Harrison Consoles, which is a full form factor console that Queen, Michael Jackson, tons of artists used back in the 70s, 80s to make some really hit records. And so what Harrison has done is taken their analog technology, I guess, captured all the components, physical components, in digital form. So now when we mix through Mixbus, it's like you're sending all your tracks through an analog console, but it's digital. So is the sound like night and day? I don't think it is, but it's definitely a fun way to mix. And you can see right now that I'm really mixing with my eyes. Sorry, not mixing with my eyes, but I'm mixing with my ears, but visually I'm able to see things like I would on an analog console. Because I have my sends right here, I have my EQs over here, just like on a real console. So it's pretty fun. It's fun to use for sure. All right, so thanks for the question. I'm going to keep going here. Just making sure my solo oscillates weren't doing weird stuff. I'm going to go ahead and high pass the synth bass. So that way I'm just getting the texture. And let's go ahead and spank it pretty hard here with the compressor. Oh, yeah. All right, let's listen to the ambient sounds going on the chorus. All right, so we sent the ambient sounds to a reverb. I'm going to compress that little talking bass part there. All right, that works for that. Let's go to let's go to the next chorus. And actually, I need to go to the second verse here. All right, so this burning pad that's going on, it wasn't quite loud enough compared to the other track. So at that point, I'm just going to use the trim here on the track to get it up a little bit more in volume. So I don't have to actually move the fader up or down. I can just use the trim here. All right, let's go ahead and limit this. All right, so at this point, let's hit Shift V and let's look at our VCAs. And where's our VCA up here? Oh, it's down here, sorry. So you can see that drums, bass, guitar, keys, and instrument verb are being sent to the band. So if I move this band bus or the band VCA, it's going to go up or down. All right. So what that allows me to do is once I have the band tracks somewhat mixed, I can go ahead and balance those against the vocals. And if I've gotten things too loud or too soft, I can bring that up or down all in one swoop over here with the VCA, which is really cool. So that makes it really easy to do that. So let's go ahead and listen to a little bit of the vocal. And I wish there was a way I could bypass all these solos all at once. Surely there's a way to do that, Mixbus, but I hadn't figured out a way to do it yet. So here we go. Let's start from the beginning. And we're going to check out the vocal. Let's do this. Okay.
You should stop yourself so you can be the perfect model. You can fill your empty spaces in yourself by fitting in, committing sins, living life on emotional whims. But they never tell me the real remedy. They never tell me that.
So she had a lot of low end in her voice. She just had definitely an alto voice, not a soprano. So I'm going to bring out or take out some of that bass.
You can drown your sorrows, drink it from a bottle.
All right, if I bypass that EQ there, listen to it now.
You can drown your sorrows, drink it from a bottle.
All right, cool. So
you can drown your sorrows, drink it from a bottle.
All right, that's good.
You should stop yourself so.
All right, now one thing I'm also hearing is there's a lot of sibilance. So there's a few things I can do here. Let's just go to favorites and let's go to de-esser. This is a great tool that Harrison Mixbus includes in the program. You do have to pay separately for it, but it is there to try for like a trial run, and then once you like it, you can pay for this. So let's go ahead and check it out.
You can drown your sorrows, drinking from a bottle.
You can change the center.
You should stop yourself so you can be the perfect model. You can fill your empty spaces in life on emotional whims, but they never tell me the real remedy. They never tell me that only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrong. Only love can help me move on. Only love.
All right, interesting.
They say I should just put myself out there more. Never said that would cause me to have internal war. To put it was to have an untrustful heart. All these voices are in my head, can't seem to catch my breath. Is this the only...
See what I had to do right there was the band was way too loud compared to the vocal. There's a few things I could probably do, but the vocal's a good level already over here. Like, it's nice and full. So the vocal is not the issue. But what I can do is definitely just bring this down, the band VCA down.
You can drown your sorrows, drinking from a bottle. You should stop yourself so you can be the perfect model. You can fill your empty spaces in yourself by fitting in, committing sins, living life on emotional whims, but they never tell me the real remedy. They never tell me.
All right, so here comes the chorus.
Only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrong. Only love can help me move on. Only love.
All right, so this background vocal in the chorus, I really just want it there to I really want it barely to be heard. It's just there to kind of help thicken things up a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and save this. And once again, let's throw a de-esser on that background vocal like so. That works for me. Let's make this pre-compressor as well. So that works. Let's listen to the chorus again.
Love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrong. Only love can help me move on. Only love. They say I should just put myself out there more. Never said that would cause me to have internal war. To put it was to have an untrustful heart. Now all these voices are in my head, can't seem to catch my breath. Is it
Yeah.
told me?
All right, so I think the ambient tracks are a little loud at spots. So let's do this. Let's bring down the cinema strings and the burning pad. And it's okay to have the talking bass up a little bit more. So let's check that out in the chorus. All right. Now, one thing I gotta figure out here is, I think Shift E. No, that's not what I want. Shift R. Nope. Shift W. I can't remember. I have to go to mixer list. Nope. Editor list. Nope. Yeah, that's fine. Let's show. Yeah, I want to show the delay down there. And let's work on some automation stuff. So I'm going to have the fader. And I'm going to hit D for draw. So that brings that down. So I can move this wherever I want. So let's do a little... spaces in yourself by fitting in, committing sins, living life on emotional winds by. And where'd my thing go? Oh, it's got to be on. Okay. They never tell me. Huh. Oh, play. There we go. They never tell. They model. All right, let's do the model thing here. So let's go there. And I really wish this was a little bit better, but you can be the perfect model. All right, let's bring this up more so we can hear it. So you can be the perfect model. And I can't hear it. So you can be the perfect model. All right, I'm baffled. I'm not going to worry about that right now. But that is something I wish I could figure out a little bit better in Mixbus. Just setting it to draw, the draw tool, I wish I could just draw it in. And really right now all it's doing is it's putting in all the different nodes wherever I click, but it's not allowing me like swoop up and draw stuff on the screen, which I wish was something I could do here. So we got delay. Yeah, something's going on. So you can be the perfect model. All right, maybe it's just not up enough. Let's bring that up all the way. You can be the perfect model. You can. All right, that's fine. I'll have to mess with that. I think I know why. Let's go vocal, and let's the E. Yeah, my delay send was down pretty low, so let's do this again. You can be the perfect model. There we go. So my send has to be down, and then I can actually adjust the fader here.
So you can be the perfect model. You can.
All right, and I can always go back and adjust the delays over this way. Let's try like a rock echo, maybe.
So you can be the perfect model.
Nah, I don't really want delay. I want an actual, like, model, 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 model. Something like that. I'll have to figure that out later. Not going to do it now. Let's save it. All right, let's go to this section. Let's do the second verse.
I should just put myself out there more. Never said that would cause me to have internal war. To put it wants to happen. I'm just for hard. Now all these voices are in my head. Can't even seem to catch my breath. Is this the
All right, since that comes in pretty loud right there, what I'm going to do is go to G, and I'm going to highlight this. Then I'm going to hit D, and I'm going to bring it down. And hopefully you can see that on the screen that I'm basically automating this. So I hit escape, you can see the lines a little bit better there. So I brought that down by automating it within the actual region itself. So let's go ahead and listen to this again.
internal war? To put it wants to happen. I'm just for hard. Now all these voices are in my head. Can't even seem to catch my breath. Is this the only way to live, to live? If only someone told me that only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me.
So I think it's a good level for the chorus, but definitely in that second verse, it was a little too loud. So hitting D like I did, and being able to automate that within the region was pretty helpful. And since those tracks were all grouped together, it highlighted all the tracks, and it brought in a an automation thing on all the tracks as well. And I can always deactivate the group and go in and adjust that. Let's do it on this track since there's nothing on there. I can always bring that up and down, which is fine. If I felt like I wanted to go in and automate certain stuff. So that works for that. So D and G are your friend when it comes to draw tool and the grab tool. And you can also see up here that I'm in the smart mode as well. So let me turn down the light here for a second. Yeah, let's do something like that. So I'm not too fond of the overhead lights in this studio, unfortunately. All right, let's go ahead and do some mixing based on this view here. I think I've done pretty well in the mixer view.
You can drown your sorrows, drink it from a bottle. You should stop yourself so you can be the perfect model. You can fill your empty spaces in yourself by fitting and committing sins, living life on emotional winds. But
So what I like to do with this PreSonus monitor station is hit mono. And there's not really a whole lot being panned right now, but something happens to where it shrinks everything down to the center, even with the stereo tracks. So you can see the drums here are stereo, and the hi-hat stereo, and synth bass is stereo, cinema strings. So that lets me know that if the vocal is getting buried or not. I can hear that a lot better in mono versus stereo. So I'm going to go ahead and mix in mono for a little bit and see what happens here. Let's go to pre-chorus. All right, I think the acoustic guitar is getting buried a little bit. So let's just go ahead and bring that up from the start.
They say you can drown your sorrow, drink it from a bottle. You should stop yourself so you can be the perfect model. You can fill your empty spaces in yourself by fitting in, committing sins, living life on emotional whims. But they never tell me the real remedy. They never tell me that only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrong. Only love can help me move on. Only love. They say I should just put myself out there more. Never said that would cause me to have internal war. That couldn't want to happen. I'm trustful hard. Now all these voices are in my head. Can't even seem to catch my breath. Is this the only way to live? If only someone.
All right, I'm going to stop right there. I heard a little dip in the vocal. So what I'm going to do, just listen to that pass.
Is this the only way to live? If only.
Live to live. This little line right here. So let's blow it up so you can see it. Actually, if I do G and hit and scan it in and hit F, it makes it pretty big there. Pretty big, so you can see that. Let's hit D and let's just bring that up. Now, one thing I wish it did, which would be really cool, was wherever I made this line here, if it also brought up the waveform itself, which is what Reaper does when I do a clip gain kind of thing. This is basically like a volume automation clip gain in one, and Reaper can make the waveform bigger or lower depending on if I'm bringing up or down the volume. So, but for now, we're just going to worry about, I'm going to hit Z to zoom back out. Let's just listen for that vocal pass and see if we can hear a little bit better. All right, it's not bad. Let's bring it up a little bit more. All right, let's bring down the F part. So let's go G. Let's just highlight that and then hit D. And then bring that back down. So you see how easy that was? It's not too bad. I hear a very pronounced T. So once again, let's take off the snap. Hit G. Let's highlight this little T area. Hit D. And let's just bring it down. See what that does. And let's do it more. All maybe it needs to be this part as well. Bring that down 8 dB. All right, not too bad.
Only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrong. Only
All right, on this double chorus thing, let's go to sends and let's I want to send it to the instrument verb that has like the room sound. Let's check that out.
only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars.
Oh, another idea. Let's go here and let's go to Harrison. And they have a cool plugin called where is it? They have a lot of cool plugins, but this one's going to be I think it's Dynamite. Maybe.
Only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars.
No, it's not that one. It's not Dynamite. It's something that has to do with Glide. That's what it is. It's like a chorusy kind of thing. So check this out.
Only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces.
So it kind of just adds some depth to that sound. And if I blend that in with the original track here, or the original vocal,
Only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrong. Only love can help me move on. Only love.
again,
Only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrong. Only love can help me move on. Only love. A part of me wish only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrong. Only love can help me move on. Only love.
all right, cool. That sounds pretty fun.
Only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrong. Only love can help me move on. Only love.
All right, let's go ahead and mess with the master bus right after I save the session here. So we got, let's go ahead and do some tape saturation first, and then we'll look at the master bus here. So let's solo the vocal and see what happens if we bring up the needle here.
Love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars.
So I have the drive all the way up, which I'm not hitting the bus too hard. So yeah, but it should be just knocking off a little bit of transient there.
Love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrongly. That can help me move on.
Alright, let's listen to the keys. So I'm bringing up the drive all the way just to give some crunch there, or like tape saturation kind of thing. Let's do the same thing on guitar. Bass. Alright. I gotta figure out what's going on here. Alright, so you should be able to hear let's do this. There you go, that's what the issue was. So I'm muting the vocal VCA here. So you should be able to hear the drive being affected by, or affecting the drums pretty good. So that's all the way off. And that's all the way up with the drive. So you can definitely tell that the drive is doing something to the audio, just depending on how hard you slam that needle to the right, you know, by getting into the red there. But I do want to retain some of the punch that we have going on in the drums, so same thing goes for the drive on the master bus. We got tape saturation over there. So let's go ahead and bring that up all the way so you can hear the effect. One thing I like to do, let's do Alt B. That's not it. Control B is going to bring up this window. And I like to have my metering hit the green to hit 0, and then wherever the peaks go, they just go. So what I can do is bring up the trim on the master bus. I can hit a limiter on there, bring that down. That works good for that. And I'm going to gonna save it again, and let's go ahead and bring in a plugin, favorites, and we're gonna do what do I usually like to do? Multi-band compressor. That's always fun. So check this out. This is a fun plug-in here. And we do have some presets down here, so let's go to Mix Comp. You can solo each band, which is really cool. So you can hear some pad, you can hear some vocal in that range. All right, there's the upper mids. And there's the high end. So you can hear the clicks of the hi-hat. A little bit of the acoustic guitar. Let's do this. Let's bring up the brightness of that acoustic. Let's go to 8K and let's just bring that up a little bit. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. Let's listen again. Cool. Messing with the vocal on the de-esser there. Cool, I like that. Let's go chorus 3. Cool. So what I did right there was I brought down the low pass filter on the cinema strings just to kind of not make them not be as bright. And that helps the talking bass to poke through a little bit more on that. Let's listen to the second chorus. Now, that's pretty good right there. I guess I could go to the... There's a look-ahead compressor, there's multi-band, there's a mastering equalizer. Let's see what that looks like here. So this is something that you can go in and you can, use a low-pass filter. You can use a high-pass filter, stuff like that. I can go in and do stuff like that and really adjust frequency bands. Let's normalize it. So let's mess around with some EQ here, shall we? Cool. Now the spectral compressor, this is something that it's pretty much like a multi-band compressor because you have all these different bands, and as we bring this down, you're gonna see the bands being adjusted in different ways. So check this out. All right, so you can see that's taking out some of the low frequency and lower mids there, which is cool. I'll leave that in there. I like that sound. All right, let's listen through one last time and see what kind of damage we've done. And then I'll bounce it down, send it off to the artist, and she can, kind of hear where it is at right now. And then she can give me a few things that she hears, gives me some things to go back and tweak, and then it should be done. So I pretty much started on this like about 3 o'clock, so maybe 2 hours worth of work. My time is 85 there on the live stream, so that's about an hour and a half, I guess. So not too bad. But that's why I only like using Mixbus for mixing. Is I don't have to go in and fix a lot of issues. Like the vocals are already tuned. They didn't need a lot of tuning anyway, but like I kind of tweaked a few things here and there. Fix all my crossfades, fix all my arrangement stuff in Reaper. And then when I bring everything in the Mixbus, I only have to worry about mixing and mixing decisions and what's going to be best for the song as far as balance, overall EQ, tonality, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and listen down.
They say you can drown your sorrow, drink it from a bottle. You should stop yourself so you can be the perfect model. You can fill your empty spaces in yourself by fitting and committing sins, living life on emotional whims, but they never tell you the real remedy. They never tell me that only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrong. Only love can help me move on. Only love. They say I should just put myself out there more. Never said that would cause me to have internal war. They put it wants to happen and just for hard. Now all these voices are in my head, can't even seem to catch my breath. Is this the only way to live, to live? If only someone told me that only love can fill my empty places. Only love can.
All right, sorry, I heard something I want to change real fast. So on that pre-chorus, I heard the either the vocals too low or the acoustic guitar is too high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring down this acoustic guitar just a little bit, so that way I don't have to adjust the vocal. And let's just see what happens here. All right, and I'm also going to bring up this bass dive here, just a few dB. I'm gonna adjust something here on the last chorus. So this only love vocal comes in a little low. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust that up like so. And let's adjust down this other one here on the background. So see how easy that was, just hitting G, highlighting the section you want to automate, hit D, draw it in up or down, whatever you want to do. And then you're good for that. So let's go ahead and listen. Same thing goes for this cinema strings at the end. Let's take off the group. Let's just highlight this one area, hit D, bring it down a few dB. Let's see if that balance fits a little bit better on the chorus. Ooh, I heard another thing here I want to do. So listen to this vocal. Only love, only love. All right, I like the breathiness there. So what I'm going to do is let's bring that up. Yeah, let's just bring up that breathiness there at the end. And I would like to, let's automate some stuff here. So Mixbus send, let's automate. I can't remember what's what. Mixbus send, all right, let's delete that. Just clear it. Another drawback to Mixbus that I like Reaper better. But vocal verb is on 8, okay? So what I'm going to do is hit automate, and I'm going to do processor automation, Mixbus send. We're going to do level to number 8. And let's go ahead and bring in a node, and that's where it's currently at. And then let's hit another node over here. And let's bring up that reverb at the tail of that vocal. So let's check this out. Solo it up. And let's make this play so we can see the changes. Okay, that's interesting, isn't it? Let's bring it down. Alright, let's see what it sounds like. And I might need to mess with the reverb type itself. Let's do that. Room size. chamber, crossover. All right, see what happens. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and adjust the acoustic here at the end. All right, so we don't need that to be as loud. So let's just draw it in and bring it down a little bit there. And we'll fade that out like so. All right. So I'm fine with that. All right, cool. Save it. There's a few things I would like to do as far as the delay goes. There we are. Let's check the comments, see if there's anybody chatting it up. Nope, no chats. I see how it is, folks. That's fine. Yeah, there's some delay stuff I want to address. And it may be something to where I just need to go in, copy and paste a word or two here and there onto a different track, and then process that differently, maybe. But I'll do that at a later time, so. And right there at the beginning, I want to bring down this chorus double, because I don't like the way those two words clash together. Let's do the same thing here on this one. So D for draw, bring it down, G. I'm going to do the same thing for this acoustic guitar. I'm going to bring that down because it is a lot louder. And there's like little details like this that you'll notice along the way that you just need to adjust. All right, that's fine. As far as the delay thing on the vocal, that's something I can do pretty quick and easy in Reaper, but maybe I should have bounced down a delay track, or maybe rendered the delay track, so that way I would have had it in this session and I wouldn't have to do it separately. But once again, that's just something that I'm not as quick and intuitive to do in Mixbus, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to do that. But I do have this down here, so let's just see what we got.
Love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the.
All right, let's go ahead and mess with this delay. Now it's on my mind. We'll get something figured out here with it. So we have our in and our out. And really what I'm listening for is I want to mess with the time here.
Love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrong. Only love can help me move on. Only love.
So 115 doubled is 230, so let's do that. And that should give us a good quarter note.
Love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrong. Only love can help me move on. Only love.
Okay.
A part of me wishes I knew back then what I do now. But every lesson has its season, its purpose for the lengthy journey it takes. Now I can tell everyone.
All right, that's going to be interesting. Let's go back and find a word or two we can adjust.
Fill your empty spaces in yourself by fitting in, committing sins, living life on emotional whims. But they.
Let's do it on butt right there, just to see how it sounds like.
Emotional whims, but they never. Emotional whims, but they never.
All right, let's listen in context.
Emotional whims, but they never. Emotional whims, but they.
All right, that'll work. I might have to adjust the vocal a little bit more.
You can drown your sorrow, drink it from a bottle.
Bottle. See that bottle line right there? Let's get that in there. See what happens if we do this.
Drink it from a bottle. You should stop yourself so you drink it from a bottle.
All right, so I want just the end of that line right there.
Drink it from a bottle. Drink it from a bottle.
All right, not bad. Not bad. Let's adjust the feedback so it's not as much.
Drink it from a bottle.
Come on.
Drink it from a bottle. You should 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 drink it from a bottle.
All right, so each one of these lines is a 16th note. So let's bring that down over here.
Drink it from a bottle.
All right, that works for that. Let's do right.
Drink it from a bottle. You should stop yourself so you can.
So that's pretty fun. Let's see what that happens.
Drink it from a bottle.
Ho!
Drink it from a bottle.
I don't like the right as much. All right, we got milliseconds going on here. We got dB. Let's see what's going on. All right, I want that to be louder, and I just messed it up. That's interesting. Not sure what's going on there, but that's cool. All right, let's bring that down to the left. Bring down the feedback. All right, that's fun. Let's add some reverb onto that track. And let's put it in a full bloom something. Bring down the wet. Fun. What's in the delay here? Let's bring that up. All right. That's cool. Let's see. Let's find another word we can bring up. All right, let's do model. And we're going to have to adjust these a little bit here. Let's bring down that one. Never. Let's do the never line there. Come on. Adjust for me. Never. They never tell me that they never tell me that they All right, I like that spot there in the second verse.
It caused me to have internal war to put up.
Let's do an Eternal War thing right there. See what happens.
It caused me to have internal war to put up walls to have.
All right, let's do Internal War right there. See what happens.
Internal war to put up walls to have and trustful heart. Internal war to put up walls to have and trustful heart. Internal war to put up walls to have and
All right, that works.
internal war to put up walls to have and trustful.
Let's delete that node and let's bring this down.
Internal war to put up walls to have and trustful heart.
And we can pan this delay. Let's just bring it on the right.
Internal war to put up walls to have and trustful heart. Now all these voices are in my head, can't even seem to catch my breath. This is
All right, cool. I think I'm done for now. That's 2 hours worth of work. Balancing, panning, adjusting EQs and levels and whatnot. So I'm going to take a breather and let's go ahead and export this. So export audio. And we're going to make this be a Redbook 16-bit 44.1. And I'm going to have this be a session name. Not the timestamp name. Only love. And let's do the label mix 1. And this is going to be sent to somewhere else. 4 terabyte rendered. Clients rendered. I thought there was a Mixbus render or something somewhere. Let's go back. Mixbus sessions. There it is, Mixbus rendered. We'll create a folder. Finale. And now that file will show up where I sent it. So export. And now it's going to export. Wherever you have those start and end points, that's where it's going to start and end. So if you don't have those points adjusted where you want, then your song is not going to start and end where you want. So just make sure that's where you want it to be. Thank you for that one person who is still watching. Maybe you're just really bored and want to watch someone mix a song. So that's cool. And here lately, I've been super tired. Like extremely tired. So whenever the kids go to bed, I just fall asleep on the couch. I get no work done here in the studio. So I kind of have to do this during the day. Otherwise, it's not going to get done. Yeah, Bart, thanks for watching. Fun stuff. And like I said before, eventually I'll figure out the OBS settings and I can do a live stream doing an actual screen capture and I have to use my phone. But until then, this is what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and exit out of this. And that was fun. So we're going to go to Mixbus sessions, Mixbus rendered. Shoot, where'd it go? I don't know where it went. Let's just search. Nelly Tiller, Only Love. All right. There we are.
They say you can drown your sorrows, drink it from a bottle. You should stop yourself so you can be the perfect model. You can fill your empty spaces in yourself by fitting and committing sins, living life on emotional whims. But they never tell me the real remedy. They never tell me that only love can fill my empty places. Only love can heal my scars. Only love can help me forgive and forget the faces of everyone who's ever done me wrong. Only love can help me move on. Only love. They say I should just put myself out there more.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Pretty cool song. All right, guys, I'm Dr. McFarland. Be sure to check the description down below. Check out my website. I do have a video vault with a lot of different videos about music gear and recording. I also have a membership that goes more into depth about music gear and recording, and I'm constantly adding new video tutorials for my members. It is relatively inexpensive if you look at, even a college degree or taking private lessons, which I do teach as well. But members, the members area on my website is my way of having, a lot of students via online without having to take up personal one-on-one time for each student. So definitely check that out. And thanks, guys, for watching. I'm Dr. McFarland. I'll see you in the next video. Keep rocking.